So I knew that it was a problem when Rick called and said, "Hey, I don't know what we can do about this."
Oh, hit you
And
with that. I don't know.
That's what I was like, man.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. As you know, my name is Aaron. I'm a realtor here in the Chicagoland area. And to my right, I got a treat for you. An actual living and breathing client of mine. His name is Gabe in the streets, but I call him Sierra Thunder. How you doing, man? Introduce yourself.
How's it going? My name is Gabriel Sierra, and like Aaron said it himself, live and well.
Live and well. I meant to say the streets call him Sierra Thunder, but his legal name is Gabriel Sierra. So if you guys have been following up with the vlogs, or if you're watching this on Instagram, you don't know who he is. He's the client that took 6 months to close. No fault of his own, but it was a process, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna backdate that, and we're gonna go through the entire procedure. Because when this started, you were a single man.
True.
And this man is now in a relationship. That's how long it took.
Yeah, exactly.
went through the whole process. So I met you, was this September? I want to say mid-September we met,
I
right?
want to say it was mid-September.
I should have checked my phone before this, but
Uh-huh.
our mutual friend Matt from the car scene, I don't know how I got involved in the car scene, but he hit me up, says, hey, I got a friend. He wants to do like the flipping and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, great. Another guy that wants to do flipping. Everybody wants to do flipping. Sure, I'll meet with the guy, right? So then I met with you, and then he said the words, I own a construction company. I said, whoa. He owns a construction company. Say less. This is my guy. So we started talking, and literally, initially you wanted a flip, right?
Yep.
And then we decided to go with the 3.5% FHA loan.
Yep.
Literally a week from meeting him, we put an offer on a place. You remember the first place in Lamont?
Yeah.
That was a nice one, eh?
It was, yeah.
Oh, it was a beautiful duplex in Lamont, Illinois, if you don't know. And the cash flow was juicy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was. You missed that one. It's fully updated. You didn't have to do any work to it.
Honestly, what I got now is better than that.
Much better.
Much better.
He got an extra unit for... that was going to end up costing you like $330.
It was like $330, $340, yeah.
In Lamont, so now he's got a 3-unit, much bigger, better building for $460, and it could be worth a lot more. So that happened like 2 weeks after we lost that deal. So first week of October, we put this deal under contract. The original closing date was November 18th.
Yep.
I said it on purpose because I wanted it to be a little birthday present for myself.
Yeah.
So explain how the process went for when we went under contract, because this is your first purchase.
Yeah.
Dude goes from zero to... So how did that, what were you feeling? What were you thinking? How was the process before it all went left?
So realistically for me, it was a smooth process. I wouldn't say it was the easiest, but I mean, luckily I had gathered everything I needed. I had gathered all my tax forms, all my income forms, all that good stuff pretty much in order to close. And so I was just handing everything over. I was just sending it over to the finance guy and pretty much just trying to meet all the requirements as possible. Where it went south was my 2018 taxes. Those had to be mailed in.
Yep.
And that's when it went bad.
It went bad, ladies and gentlemen. We found out. So the issue is he did mail them in. Just to clarify. Yeah. Again, no fault of his own. That stuff was mailed in. But our friends at the IRS said, oh, we didn't get anything. Or the U.S. Postal Service. Somebody made a mistake. And those tax returns are not gone. Okay.
They still haven't been claimed.
They still haven't been claimed. Yeah. So, and if you've ever tried to get a hold of the IRS, it's a nightmare. Oh, yeah. But somehow he got a hold of them. And not only, I remember when he called me with this issue. I was playing basketball at Olympic Park. Yeah. Right? And you could hear the dribble in the background probably. And he's like, dude, I've been trying to get a hold of the IRS. And I finally got someone. We have an appointment Tuesday because I got escalated. I'm like, what? How's that even possible? Yeah. So that was November 11th, I believe, or 8th, something like that.
I think so.
And then our original closing date, again, was supposed to be on the 18th. So I was like, we are not going to make it.
Yeah, it's already pushing it.
And what were you feeling when that first issue came up? What were you feeling, like, emotionally? You're like, damn it. Did you think that they fall apart, or did you think we still had it?
Part of me honestly lost hope. I was like, man. So the problem was that it's a normal 6 to 8 week processing. And because of COVID, then I was told it was a 14 to 16 week. So at that point, it was hitting the 16-week mark.
Right.
Or like we kept on waiting, and then that's how I ended up calling the IRS. I ended up going up the ladder basically in representatives. And I had my own case ID, my own agent assigned, and everything. And at that point, it came down to me getting in contact with somebody in the office, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? We can schedule an appointment."
Yeah.
And that's when I called you, and I was like, "We're gonna go to the IRS.
We're going to Rockford, baby."
Yeah. It was an hour. Yeah, it was like what, an hour drive?
Yeah. He picked me up at like 8 a.m. in the morning. We were committed, okay? Yeah. And we drove up there. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let me in due to COVID. I was like, well, that's heartbreaking. But we submitted his taxes like in person. And then at that time, they're like, oh, because you submit in person, we'll only need 6 to 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I just have to call and get an extension. This is the only problem we have so far.
Exactly.
Life is good. So I call the listing agent. Shout out to Bill, great guy. And then I'm super nervous about the call. I'm like, if he gives me shit, because it's going to be tough, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, Bill, so here's the situation. Everything is done. We just need time to get these taxes in. He's like, okay, cool. What do you need? Just January 6th? I'm like, yeah. That would be great.
Yep.
So we got our first extension to January 6th. Now, from November 12th to January 6th was a whole lot of waiting for you, doing much.
Nothing, pretty much.
And it's just like any minute now.
Literally.
Any minute now. And I think you checked your your transcripts like a million times.
Yeah. I was waking up almost every day and just like logging into the IRS portal and just checking it. It's funny because it actually has a log of what time and date you log into every time.
Does it really?
So it just kept building up that log on a daily basis, and I was like, man.
This guy's got pages of just log activity. Yeah. That's insane. Well, in this waiting period, what you guys don't know, not only did he get himself into a relationship, he also started another business, right? He started what is it called? A vinyl?
It's a automotive customization shop.
That's what it is. And it's called Ghost in the Streets. Go check it out. It's in Schaumburg. If you need vinyl, tinting, anything else?
Like aftermarket installs.
Basically, if you need something on your car, just go over there. Nothing mechanical.
Nothing mechanical.
We don't do that. That's a different license.
Only aesthetics.
Only aesthetics. I like that. So he started that business. The issue with that is when you are trying to get a mortgage, especially with something of this price point and this type of property, you can't use your money.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was the biggest, like, man, the entire process.
Bring it like a bit closer to you.
The whole thing with that was probably the hardest part for me throughout this entire process, because it was basically, okay, I have all of these things going on in my life. You can't touch your credit cards. Nope. You can't touch your savings account. Nope. You can't touch your checking account. Nope. So what am I supposed to do?
You can barely touch the money you're making on average.
Exactly. Yeah, I was barely able to touch that. But
it was so incredible.
It was actually the first week, the same week that I submitted that offer, and all they were asking for all the financing paperwork and all that stuff. That same week was the week that I was starting to set up the shop.
You know what? I remember, because if we go back, we did do an inspection. This was an as-is sale, because he's in construction, so like we didn't have any doubts about it. But at the inspection, he's like, yeah, I'm starting a shop. And my heart went to the roof. I'm like, you starting a shop? Credit card? Like, what kind of loan we talking?
Yeah, literally.
And he's like, no, I got it. And then we find out this issue where you basically, it's so annoying, because I'm like, I see he's got money. It just can't use it.
Literally.
And it's not even money you're going to use for the down payment. It's like reserve money.
It's reserved money. Yeah, that was the worst part about it.
Was it 3? He had to have 6 months of monthly payments on a $460,000 home on reserve, on top of his down payment.
On top of my down payment.
And closing costs.
And closing costs, yeah.
Insane. I was like, you're the richest broke person I've ever met.
I couldn't even
buy
touch
you a cheeseburger
or something.
So now we get to January 6th. To this point, we thought, okay, they gave us the 6 to 8 week timeline. January 6th is right on that 8th week, I believe, if I do the math right. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, we should be okay. We asked for another week extension to January 12th, and then, but we still hadn't heard anything from the IRS. At that point, let me premise this. Since he's in construction, he's self-employed. That is why we need 2 years of tax returns, right?
Yep.
We got blessed enough that we were just buying at the end of 1 year. So when 2020 ended, Gabe's like, I'll just do my 2020 taxes today. And I'm like, you're going to be the first person to file in 2020.
Yeah.
He's like, the IRS is going to be so confused. Like, who is this man?
Yeah.
Like rushing to pay taxes, like, take my money.
Yeah, I remember I was like, I had talked to my tax agent, and I was like, when is the first day that I can file?
Yeah.
And I believe she said it was like, was it January 12th or February 12th? It was pushed back quite
So
some
that
time.
was so initially it was January 12th you filed, but like according like to the traditional law, January 21st is when they start
That's when
accepting
they
these
started
returns.
accepting it. Yeah.
So he had, again, our only holdback at that point was his loan was cleared, to basically cleaned, conditional approval. Only condition was these tax rates, right? And they had to get the transcripts from the IRS. So he filed for the 2020 tax return in like, I think it was like the second week of January.
It was
And
the
then
second week.
We were waiting for the 21st to come in. We're thinking, hey, February 1st, we're closing, baby.
Yeah.
Because they're coming in. Life is great. You know, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to the pandemic, Gabe calls me. It sends me first. You sent me a screenshot, and I'm like, "What is this guy sending me? What is this?" And so I ignored it. I'm like, and then I come back. I'm like, "Wait a minute." I text him back. I'm like, "What is this, Gabe? What did you say?"
Wait, was this for?
This is when they pushed it to February 15th. The January 21st date.
Oh yeah, for the accepting. Yeah.
I thought that wasn't applying to us since we're so amazing and we're so great, right? But no, it did apply to us, which means they wouldn't even look at his 2020
until February.
Yep. And so I have to call the agent again after we received, like, at this point, so many extensions. I call him back. I'm like, hey, so here's the situation. Again, out of our control. There's nothing I could do here.
Exactly.
You know?
Like nobody could do anything. Like, who's going to go against the IRS?
Not me. So we asked for an extension to mid-February, and that's the first time we had a little bit of a pushback. They asked for the credit to be removed. I think they asked for like 5,000 back or 500 back. I don't remember the exact details. And I was like, bruh, we're not doing that. It's literally just taxes. We're going to cancel a deal because we're 3 weeks away.
Right.
We went 3 weeks away. So we stuck around, right? And then February 11th rolls around. His taxes got accepted earlier, I think.
Yeah, they got accepted 3 days earlier than the posted date. Yeah.
Gabe calls me like, we did it.
I remember.
I don't know throughout this whole process how you rate so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it was me, I would be like, man, forget this, man. Just let it die. You know? But, no deal dies here. I'm like, what's the analogy I used? If I can remember that analogy. I'm going to remember at some point in this video, and I'll come back to it.
Which one?
Like, no deal dies or something. I'm like a doctor, you know.
Yeah,
I will save this patient as best I can, you know. So February 11 rolls around. Life is good. His taxes have been accepted. Not all we have to do is wait 2 more weeks, more waiting, and then the transcripts will come out, and everything's gonna be great. So I let the other side know, hey, great news. We have the taxes accepted. Getting that extension was no problem, right? And then a week later, I get a call from the attorney. He's like, hey, transcripts are in. I'm like, this early? Hell yeah, we're close. Yeah. I hang up the phone and I'm screaming. I have my mentee in the car when that happened. I'm screaming like, we did it. Yeah. I'm getting paid. Because listen, $460,000 is a paycheck. I'm a real estate agent, you know. I love Gabe, but I need to pay my bills. So, so I'm like, I'm celebrating. And then I think it was, when did we close on yours? Mid-March, right?
It was March 19th.
March 19th, we closed. So there you go. You got the end of the story.
Yep.
And then at the end of February, I get a call from Rick. Rick is our lender, amazing guy. You've worked with him a little bit more throughout this whole process. Yeah. But he calls me. He's like super sad. He's like, hey, man, we got a really, really clean approval on Gabe. I'm like, why does it sound like somebody died? Well, no fault of my own. I did not know somebody actually had died that day in his family, so that was unfortunate. And then on top of that, he's like, well, this deal is about to die. I'm like, what? What do you mean this deal is about to die? He's like, well, because initially we had you locked in. Again, you were on a contract so long that the whole market shifted. Like the place he bought for $460 at the time he bought it, right now we could list it for $500,000. Right now.
Yeah.
As is, literally could do nothing to it. Unfortunately, due to closing costs, he'll lose money, but but that's how much the market appreciated. And then the rates actually went up the last couple of weeks, and his locked-in rate pretty much is gone because you can only have it, I think it's 4 months.
He said in 90 days, I think.
90 days, yeah. So we basically lost our rate.
And then we had to rerun my credit and everything as well.
Yep. And the issue with this now is higher rates mess up the debt-to-income ratio. We're like, oh, not another problem, man. We just got passed on the taxes. Now the taxes are good. Now I got to call this. So I'm like, you know what? We got this. He told me he'll call me on Thursday, and then he did. Long story short, Gabe owns the building now. Okay.
I don't know what he did, but he made it work.
He just called me and said, we got a price exception. I had to pull a favor. I'm like, did you have to go see him in a different way?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was the whole transaction. 6 months, it's a lot of waiting. And just the annoying part, it was outside of your control.
Exactly.
You know, if it was like, get balance sheets. Okay, done, right?
Yeah.
Get profit loss, done. Get me this, give me that. But now we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, doing nothing.
Yeah.
Now, if he had this deal done like what we initially scheduled, like even like before December, low key, you would have had a much better rate.
Yeah.
Probably less money. I think same amount of money at closing, but
I probably would have been refinancing next month.
literally, yeah. He literally could have been refinancing, fully rented out, cash flow in, rehabbed, all that. But you know what? We got it, bro.
At least we got it.
At least we got it. Thank God. So now tell me your side of what was going on your angle?
I was so stressed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That deal sucked. It's like the best way to explain it. Yeah, like you said the other day, it's like whatever could have went wrong.
Yeah.
Went wrong. So, but on my end, you have to understand it from my perspective. It's like they would hit me up and they would be like, hey, you got to meet this requirement. You got to send in this, this, and this. You got to send in these documents, blah, blah, blah. I was on it. It would take me maybe 2-3 days tops, but I was sending everything in on time.
Your accountant is sick of you, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I was getting everything in, and the worst part about it was, like you said, it was literally just a waiting game. Everything was so out of my control. I couldn't do anything about it. Like you said, like I was just sitting around waiting to see what was going on. I couldn't even touch my money, and at the end of the worst part about it was I was sitting there not being able to touch my money, nor knowing if it was even going to go to the apartment or not,
right?
Like to the building, because I'm like, what if this deal doesn't go through because of all these things? I'm just going to sit here, kill all this time for nothing, and I already had invested money into the inspections and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think you were at least $1,200 in.
Oh, just inspections, yeah, plus the earnest money too.
Because you did the plumbing inspection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so he was in it like $4 or $5 grand, I would say at that point. So he was in too deep.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then to top it off was when Rick called.
Yeah.
And said, so basically, Rick was supposed to make everything happen.
Yeah.
And he was like, everything was supposed to be covered on his end.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was a problem when Rick called and said, hey, I don't know what we can do about this.
Oh, hit you with that. I don't know.
That's when I was like, man. I'm like, if he doesn't know what to do about it, I'm like, this is gone. I'm like, it's just might as well consider it gone. That's when I really lost it. I was like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to think at this point. And then
was that the same day about the rate?
That was the same. Yeah, that day that he called me when he was like, hey, the rate changed, and realistically, I can't say whether it's going to go down or not. We can just analyze it and give you our best guess. And so that's when I was like, man, like this is like watching the stock market. I was like,
no, this is bad.
Yeah, it's bad. And not only that, but it was just stressful. Like it posed so many challenges.
Was it at the end? Was it worth it? Like,
oh
when
yeah,
you're like,
definitely.
Oh yes.
Like even right now, like like I'm glad that I closed on it finally, and that I have it. But even so, I was like, that I had to go through hell and back for that.
That's not normal, Gabe. Usually it takes. So funny story. Also, this took so damn long. Gabe referred me a client that started looking and was actually on a longer timeline.
Literally.
Found a place, closed on a place, and almost finished renovating that place.
Literally. This guy, one of my good friends. Another one of my friends, Matt. He was like, hey, he's like, I'm looking to buy. I'm thinking of buying a property or renting something. I don't know yet. And I'm like, I got this great realtor. He can. I'm like, he can help you out. He'll get anything that you want. And I'm like, he'll get you pre-approved and blah blah blah. And he's like, okay, sure. Sent him over to Aram. Got him like making offers a week later, basically.
Yeah.
I closed on it before I did, fixed it, and I think he's already like, I haven't even touched my building, and he's already about to. I think he's moving in.
Yeah, he's probably moving in. He gutted the entire floors.
Literally, yeah. And not only that too, but you sent me customers too as well. And
they finished their jobs.
They finished their jobs too.
It's so annoying because they're all investors. I send them, so they're investors that are getting deals, closing him, renting him, and his ass are just sitting here like
this could be me. This could be me, but here I am.
But the IRS is playing.
Literally. It was tough.
That is horrible. Okay, so now since it's your first purchase, you're probably like, oh God, is it like this every time? It is not. God is so smooth. this is the, I mean, I've done a lot of deals, man. This was I don't want to say rough because it was like, they're all like easy things to fix, but they're outside of our control. But this was an annoying deal. Dude.
It was the funniest thing about it was when I got the when I got the email from the attorney saying, he's like, listen, he's like, normally on average a closing is about 58 days. He's like, you're on 58. And I was like,
and counting.
And that was still 2 weeks before we closed.
That was, yeah. Ooh.
I was like, man.
But let's talk about how was this is a personal question. Like, so I recommended the attorney and the lender. How was your experience working with those two guys?
It actually went really smooth. I really liked it. As soon as you actually referred me to Rudy, I gave him a call and spoke to him, and we got everything situated at probably within the hour.
He's quick with it.
Yeah, and then same thing with Rick. I remember showing up to your office, and Rick had me pre-approved within like, what, 2-3 hours later?
It was so quick.
Yeah.
I think so the first day, Gabe had me out looking at flips. He kept taking me to these garbage houses every day. I'm like, dude, do you not like me? Are you mad? Did I do something wrong? Can you just show me one house that has a livable kitchen, please?
Yeah.
Because you were looking to flip, right?
Yeah.
And then when we were out driving around, that's when we got our pre-approval.
Yeah.
So that was yeah. So the team around you was also very important, right? That's when, like, anyone watching, if you're a client watching this, don't go with the cheap option. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Rudy charges a damn good amount of money for his services.
Yeah, but he's damn good at what he does. Yeah.
He answers the phone, man.
Yeah.
Imagine every time you called him, I called him 2 more times. Because I called him before you called him, and I called him after you called him.
Okay.
So he's got to deal with me, and he's got to deal with Rick, and he's got to deal with you, and he's got to deal with the other side.
Okay, yeah.
And then I got to call them every time the other side calls, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So it's a mess. But that's why you need someone on your side that can actually make a shit show a smooth show.
A smooth show,
yeah. That makes any sense. Now we get to closing. At the walkthrough, we actually got to meet the seller again, and it took so long. I believe the seller's wife had passed away during this process.
She did,
which was unfortunate, and we were very we got very lucky. This seller was very, like, because his wife passed away, he stopped caring about anything. Like, for him, it was like it could close, it couldn't close. It didn't really matter, right? Which is why we got all these extensions. Usually, like, I had a deal right before you with the same exact, literally self-employed guy. Can't find his 2018 anywhere. Yeah. So we did, initially, what was it? I'm sorry. His issue was his 2019 was bad or wrong. Okay. So they had to make an addition. In this area in Arkansas, in Arkansas, it's got 5,000 in the queue and 3 employees, right? Okay. And that seller was giving us an issue over a 1-week extension. Wow. And then I'm here emailing like, we need another week. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we got lucky there. At the walkthrough, we got to see the building again. How was it? Because you hadn't seen that building, dude, in 6 months. How was that? You're like, damn, is this one? Were you overwhelmed, nervous? What were you feeling?
I actually, believe it or not, I actually had a really good picture of it in my head from the moment that I saw it the first time. Yeah, from the moment that I saw it the first time, I remember walking up and down that thing so many times. So I had that engraved into my head. I was like, I know exactly what I'm walking into. Yeah. So when I walked back into it, I was like, all right, I picked up right where I left off. So it was a good feeling for me knowing that I was finally able to get my hands on it. But walking through it, I was just, at this point, I was looking more for things of what can I renovate and what kind of work does it need.
It's time to go.
So I'm ready to go on this.
Have you been back yet or no?
I have, actually. I was just back over there on, what was yesterday? Tuesday. I think I was back there yesterday. Sweet. Tuesday. Yeah.
You starting to work yet, or so what are you gonna do? Like, I know kind of what you're gonna do. Let the audience. So it's a 3-flat in Elmwood Park where it's 3 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms.
Yep. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna go in there. The basement needs new subfloors. It basically we're gonna rip the whole thing up. Yeah. Pretty much. So, and while we're in there, it has enough space to be converted into a 3-bedroom. So we're gonna convert it into a 3-bedroom, rehab the entire basement, pretty much. Yep. And then we're gonna go up to the first unit. Same thing. We're gonna redo the floors, probably repaint the whole thing, probably maybe switch up the kitchen a little bit and bathroom, and we're probably gonna do the exact same thing up in the 3rd floor or 2nd floor.
Are you guys decide on adding a half bath?
Oh yeah, we're doing half baths on everything.
Yes, that makes my job so much easier.
Oh yeah, I want to be able to list it. Yeah. Make some good money off of it.
Now, are we renting it or are we selling it?
We're renting it.
Okay, cool. So this is going to be a smooth cash flow carrying on. And then now let's get to you signing paperwork. Was that not a lot of paper?
It was a lot more than I thought it would be.
Did your hand get a little like carpal tunnel? You're like, God damn, this is.
Well,
Do you have a long signature or a short signature?
it's an easy signature. It's a short
Oh.
signature, yeah.
You got so lucky. The deal before you had such a long. Matt actually has
Really?
an incredibly long signature.
Wow.
And everything he's like this, like. It was so funny to watch. I'm like, man, I got places to be.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. For me, like looking at every single one of those pages and signing it, I was like, it's one step closer, one step closer.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to get
So
this
you
thing
didn't care
done.
what it was. You're just like,
Yeah,
give me
I was
in
just
there.
like, give me the line to sign, and I'll sign all of them right now.
I love it. I love it. And then how much, if you're comfortable saying it, how much money did you end up having to bring to closing that day?
13.5,
13.5. And then how much did we put in this money? Do you remember?
2,500,
25. So 13.5 plus 20. Was that 16?
16, yeah.
Okay. 16 plus, let's say, another 1,200 in the, like the inspection and appraisal.
Yeah,
So-
appraisal was 670, inspection was 600, and the plumbing inspection was an additional 300.
So that's good 1,500 if I did my math right.
Yeah, like 1,500, like 1,550,
So
1,570.
he's in at 18,000 cash wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for 18,000, this is why if you're looking to invest, the best way to do it is to first buy a place for yourself.
FHA
Wink, wink.
financing.
FHA financing, 3.5% down, because you can own a giant building like this for $18,000.
Exactly.
Now, it's gonna. We did the homework, so we know it's gonna cash flow. I think minimum $800 a month. That's like a minimum if you don't add bathrooms or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And you do 800 times 12, and you'll quickly realize the return on your money right there.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to invest, start that way. Just take your money and you use it in a better way. That's all I gotta say. And then any final notes, bro? Because I think my timer is about to go up.
Not really.
That's
I mean, all I want to add is that for those people that want to get into like real estate investing, like do your homework, like do your research. It's not. It doesn't take what everyone makes it out to seem to be. It's just have a good credit score. Then, like you said, like
That's huge.
have a good credit score. Make sure you have no bad inquiries or whatever bad notes on your credit score. Taxable income. Go ahead and get pre-qualified, and then just make sure that you have you have some sort of down payment, and you can get yourself as low as at 3.5%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's 3 things. Did you see my TikTok?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Only 3 things you need, folks. In this order, you need taxable income, okay? You need good credit,
Yeah.
and you need the down payment. Here's why the order is so important. With that taxable, you can have the best credit. If you got no income, you're not getting a loan, right?
Yeah.
So if you have good income or taxable income, keyword. So
Taxable.
if you have cash in a suitcase, that's not taxable income, damn it, okay? And then you have credit, which goes hand in hand, and then the money's last because you could always have it gifted to you.
Yep.
Right? And there are programs out there where you don't need to have the money, but I don't believe in those programs. Anyhow, thank you so much for coming out, my man. Appreciate you.
Of course.
And we will do this. Are you buying another place soon or what?
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yep.
Back in business, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see if I can get more clients in the seat and have conversations like this for you realtors. And then for you clients out there, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again and have a good day.